Breaking news! Report. Bend Studio cuts contractors following live service game cancellations. Or cancellation. With its project scrapped, a former Bend contractor alleges the studio has ended all ongoing contracts except for a select few. Of course, this is in the wake of the latest news that Sony Bend and Bluepoint's projects were both canceled by PlayStation right before the announcement that Herman Hulst was getting demoted back to head of the studio business group, and the other Japanese corporate guy is being promoted to CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, and he's keeping that job. Right here, several designers contracted to work on the unannounced game have revealed they were recently let go or will be laid off after February 14th. These workers were part of Bend's level and system design teams. One designer stated that Bend, quote, made the decision to prematurely rescind all ongoing contracts except for a select few that will be hired full-time. Both Bend and Bluepoint Games were working on separate live service projects at the time of their cancellation. Bluepoint was leading development on a title based on Sony Santa Monica's God of War series. After the projects were ended, Bend community manager Kevin McAllister said the company still had a future and planned on creating cool shit. The live service losses, PlayStation, of course, were significant. They've lost billions and billions and billions. The cancellation of its live service multiplayer project means that Bend Studio will have not shipped a game for over 6 years. The last game the company released was Days Gone in 2019. You can't tell me that Jim Ryan and Herman Hulst were good for the PlayStation industry. Like, come on. You have studios, capable studios. You didn't have to love Days Gone. Days Gone connected with people, though. It's got a cult following even now. And that studio, you just wasted like a solid 5-6 years of their time. They could have put out a Days Gone 2 by now. And you know how much money that would have made? More than zero. More than whatever this live service game has made or will ever make. Like, at least if it made $1, that's $1 more than this live service game that was just canceled. It's ridiculous. Higher than nothing. Yeah, exactly. Higher than low, higher than total losses. Moonlight. But now those days are gone. Now the days truly gone. Truly. Oh man. Yeah. So canceling contracts, that's not as crazy as like layoffs. Okay. So as we kind of outlined, funnily enough, on an earlier segment on a different topic, about BioWare actually restructuring, let's say. They, like, contractors are brought in to do extra help and work on projects in roles that probably aren't going to have a lot of staying power. So like QA often, or if somebody's being brought in to help build out network infrastructure. But after the game is built, they probably don't need all the same engineers that built it to stay on to maintain it. So they bring these people on as contractors, contracted labor and contractors, and then they often allow them to invite for or to apply for full-time jobs if available within the studio. But you know, once their work is done, their work is done. But with this, they're just canceling all of those contracts because the game they were contracted to work on doesn't exist anymore. They're shutting it down. So now they're going to go back to the drawing board. I really wonder what they're working on now. And I wouldn't be surprised if they got greenlit to do something like a Days Gone 2. I mean, again, talking about cashing in on nostalgia, I wouldn't be shocked if you saw a trailer at a Sony showcase in a year or two that was the hordes and hordes of zombies. And it's for like a PlayStation 6 zombie game, and it's Days Gone 2, and it's just a reboot of the cult classic, and they just try it again. Like, I really do think that there's an opportunity there, you know, but we'll see. They're doing that. Bluepoint is going to work on something. Maybe now they'll finally assign them to Bloodborne remake or whatever. Who knows? Can you imagine John Garvin's reaction if they did that? Dude, he'd lose his mind. Yeah. He'd lose his ever-living mind. Yeah, I won't pretend like I'm the biggest fan of Days Gone, but it's better than this. Well, that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like, even if you don't like Days Gone, that's okay. But a Days Gone 2 would have been something, and it would have performed better than a canceled live service game you worked on for years and years and years that disappears and is vaporware now. Like, it's lost media now. But they could have put out, by this point, another Days Gone that would have made some amount of money, you know? Yeah, unfortunately, there's not much more to say than that. It's just they've decided to refocus, and they don't need the contract labor, and so they're moving in that direction. And then in the same story as the BioWare, you know, they're restructuring. This one is much more significant though, because this basically sounds like they are shuffling around a lot of people. They're moving people out of their jobs, and the BioWare story is actually like a much more unexpected, ground shaking thing. Whereas this, like, yeah, you canceled the game. Now the contractors don't have anything to work on, so their contracts get terminated. That's kind of to be expected. Unlike Sabrina coming to Fortnite, which is unexpected but greatly welcome and desired.